Now, yesterday we had a discussion with state prosecutors, and we were talking about them handing over a memorandum to the new National Director of Public Prosecution, Shamila Batoy. But seemingly there are more problems within the criminal justice system. On Monday, approximately 400 police officers were protesting in the Western Cape and another 120 or so in KwaZulu-Natal. The protest is illegal as the Labour Act states that police services form part of essential services. And Police Minister Bheki Cele said on Monday that some police officers made use of letters from doctors and that they are aware that it was used as part of the protest. And joining us now is Ruben Maleka, who is the head of collective bargaining for the Public Service Association, or PSA. And they say that the strike is illegal and also reckless. And also with us, joining us from our Pretoria studio, is Mpho Kwinika, who is the Secretary of the South African Policing Union, or SAPU. And they say that the strike is as a result of the minister not listening to the plight of police officers. So let's unpack this further. Gentlemen, thanks for coming through.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Good morning.
So let's start here, and perhaps I can start with you, Ruben. If you can explain to us, essential services, the role of those who perform essential services, and what the Labour Relation Act states in this regard.
Yeah, thank you, Sakina. First of all, the South African Police Service, police officers are actually defined in the Labour Relations Act as an essential service. An essential service is a service that is not, in terms of the Act, able to strike when there are issues of mutual interest. Their issues of mutual interest are resolved by other means. Could be arbitration, could be going to court, other than a strike. A strike for essential service is illegal, and we know that when there's an illegal strike, the employer also has got a recourse, and the recourse has got dire implications to those kind of employees who go on illegal strike. And one of it is termination of employment. We know that if you go on illegal strike, the employer can give you an ultimatum. If you don't abide by the ultimatum, we know that the consequences is that you will be terminated from employment. We do not want to see a situation where recklessly we see police officers being terminated from their employment, because we still believe that there are other avenues that could be explored to ensure that their conditions of service are improved, other than putting them at risk of termination of employment or dismissals.
So the wording from PSA seems a bit harsh. Some have opined, and they say you're calling this reckless. Can you explain what you mean by reckless?
No, we call it reckless because we still believe that we don't expect any of the trade unions, especially those that are involved in the actual bargaining structure, to call or support or even encourage any strike for the police officers, because we understand the dire implication that could happen to them. We are saying, and if you are involved in that part of the bargaining structure, which is terrible as BC, negotiate, get better conditions improved for police officers. And obviously, as the PSA, we've got uniformed police officers that are there. They communicate with us. They are concerned about their conditions. Although we are not admitted, we are admitted in the PSABC, which is the bigger structure. And I believe that at this stage, we need to actually take these matters to PSABC and ensure that the condition of service of police officers is improved, and in order for them to combat crime without any hassles of being worried about their condition of services.
Well, Mr. Kwinika, you heard there you're being accused of being reckless as the union and also your members in embarking on this so-called protest, because it seems to have been masked by people sending in sick notes as opposed to going on a full-on strike.
The members are not on strike. The members are working, and if members are picketing and demonstrating their frustrations against what they call or deem to be an unfair labor practices meted out against them by the employer, and it is viewed as a strike, that is not the truth. But the issue of an essential service renderer, it must be looked in the following ways. That it is not a casting stone, does not mean that when members are pushed to a certain level where the situation is not tolerable anymore, then the situations which are made available to them to be able to deal with these issues which Mr. Maleka is referring to, and those institutions collapses, what else is there for them to do? And having said this, it should not be misconstrued to the fact that we are supportive of the strike. We don't. It has got unintended consequences. The people that are supposed to be feeling the anger of the members, it is the employer who have completely lost the plot in the management of the South African Police Service.
Well, Mr. Maleka was saying that you are represented in the bargaining council. Why are you not using that avenue to try and advance the causes that you are trying to seek here?
Now, I pity Mr. Maleka because he does not participate in the bargaining council which we sit at. It is POPCRU and SAPU, and POPCRU is in majority. And this agreement, which has caused the problem which we have today, was signed by POPCRU and the South African Police Service Management, regardless of the advices which they were given to say that this is going to break the service into two. And they continued and signed this agreement. And today, they are reaping the very same seeds which they have sown on the 5th of December 2018. So, who must be blamed for all this? The South African Police Service Management and the POPCRU for signing that dubious agreement.
Mr. Maleka?
Yes, obviously, if that is the case, that there is a signed agreement, and obviously we still believe that at this point in time, SAPU is in a better position to go and explain the agreement to the members of the police service. And obviously the members of police service, they do also have power to find an alternative, to say, if it's true that POPCRU signed such an agreement that is dubious, they've got an alternative. Why would they stay with POPCRU if that is dubious? We are saying that at this point in time, we are ready as PSA to say that if the police officers' conditions of service are not looked after, let's get all unions that are involved in the police service. We are ready. We are even willing to say that let's cooperate with SAPU, let's cooperate with POPCRU, let's better the condition of service of police officers, because they are essential service. Imagine a day in a country without policing. That would be disaster. I'm sure all of us, we can agree while we are talking here to say that all of us personally or our families have been affected by crime. Imagine a day without policing in the country.
But the frustration, as pointed out by Mr. Kwinika amongst police officers, is that they feel that they are not being heard.
Obviously, it's part of negotiations. We are also in the SABC where we are not the overall majority. But, you know, negotiations is about how to convince people and how to make your voice be heard by other parties.
Are you saying SAPU is failing?
I'm saying that obviously they had opportunity. I'm saying that if they had opportunity, they should have used the opportunity to make those issues be heard. Because ultimately, I don't think, unless if that the employer was just or it's been, one can say maybe they are captured by other trade union, but it can never be that as a trade union, things go in that way to an extent that you go out and even call or support any form of a strike. And our position is that there are other means of looking into the resolution, and maybe even looking into whether that resolution cannot be nullified by the courts. We have seen some of the resolutions that the members have taken them to court, some youths have taken to court to nullify them because they believe that they are not actually advancing fairness and equity in the workplace.
Unfortunately, we have to move forward and find hopefully a way forward as we run out of time. But Mr. Kwinika, what Mr. Maleka is essentially saying is that you are failing as SAPU at your task and perhaps not going about this in the best possible way.
I think he's taking us retrogressively, and it is really not helpful what he's saying, because if he was in a bargaining council, he would have noticed the issues that are taking place in that environment. And let me not even go there. I think he's campaigning and he wants to come back to the South African Police Service environment. Yeah, he's more than welcome. But here are the issues. The police have collapsed, and the status of policing in our country need to be looked at. And we are busy working. We are very busy at working now. We have sent a letter to the president and also send a letter to the Minister of Police, so that he can make proper recommendations that the current National Commissioner of Police be removed. And I'll tell you why we're saying this. One, it is because that it is unprecedented that our members have to be subjected to this situation, which we have seen them even threatening to go on strike. Two is that the management, the top management of the police have met on Monday. It is also unprecedented that the entire police force would really support, the entire management of the police will support the plight of the junior police officers. That tells you that there is an overall disapproval of the leadership of the National Commissioner of Police. So what are we waiting for? Are we waiting to have the police torn apart, destroyed completely, or even reach the stage of unrepairable? We have to do something now, and the president has got the authority to do something now.
Well, gentlemen, unfortunately, we're out of time on this one, and we're going to have to leave it there for the time being, but we will keep tabs on developments in the story, and if there are any further developments, we certainly will bring that to you here on Morning Live. And thanks so much to Ruben Maleka from the PSA and Mpho Kwinika from SAPU, who spoke to us about looming strike by police officers, and also talking to us about some of the possible impending issues that are being dealt with or should be dealt with. We'll take a break, and on the other side, it's news.